Well, hello and welcome to the Bumper to Bumper podcast. I am Dave Riccio, sitting here along with John Riggle, and together we are helping you with your car questions, car concerns. Feel free to message us, comment on the videos, and we will get it in the show at some point. Just whatever people are interested in. We're trying to give you knowledge so that it feels comfortable to go to the auto repair shop or even to make decisions about your car, whether you're considering, hey, when do I punt this car? People don't know when it's time to put them out to pasture because there is a point. You can fix something forever, but is it worth it? You know, maybe if it's something that's sentimental to you, but even those sentimental things get very expensive at some point. So anyway, we are a transmission shop, and we are also an auto repair shop, but we do a lot of transmission work. And because of it, this topic comes up all the time. Well, is it new? Is it rebuilt? Is it reconditioned? Is it recycled? Is it remanufactured? Is it overhauled? All those terms, and they are so misrepresented, I think, and then also there's no standard, right? Yeah. And so I run into that all the time. People call me up, my car's at the dealership, and they're telling me I need to spend $10,000 on a new transmission.
Yeah.
Well, in most cases, even though they're at the dealership, they're not getting a new part.
It's not a new transmission.
It is not a new transmission. No. It is a remanufactured transmission. Yeah. I mean, the transmission's only new once. They're designed to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
There are some exceptions. Ford with this 10-speed, they're having some issues with it, so much so they don't have enough core supply of transmissions to rebuild, so they got to produce new ones. So you can buy new ones at some point. Yeah. Or they do make some fundamental change in the unit, and they do build them new. There's a few exceptions, but for the most part, they're getting remanufactured. Mm-hmm. Now, the term remanufactured is not a term set up by the federal government or by the state of Arizona or anybody like that. The only one that's really attempted, as far as I know, to put a standard on that is the Bureau of Automotive Repair in California. Yeah. They have a list of what a overhauled or rebuilt transmission is, and I don't even think it works. It doesn't even apply because there's just so many things, so many different dynamics to it. Mm-hmm. So new, rebuilt, reconditioned, recycled, remanufactured, super confusing. So essentially, it's based on the person that's selling you. So whatever they want to call it, they can call it.
Yeah, that's it.
So recycled, what does that mean to you, John?
Recycled? Used?
It's a used part, right?
It is what it is. And I said that with a little bit of attitude there, but in a lot of cases, there's a lot of cases where I would rather have a used part than a reman part.
I agree with you. I actually agree with you there. I say there's a lot of shops that rebuild transmissions. There's only a few that you want doing it. And so sometimes a recycled part is a good part. Certain vehicles, I'm a huge proponent. Yeah. Vehicles, and where does used become a thing? In the transmission business, the less expensive cars have a lower total value.
Right.
So anyway, it gets hit in the corner. And most cars, they would fix it. But if the car has kind of a low total value, they'll total it out. Yeah. Well, you got a car now with 30,000 miles on it, which has a perfectly good transmission. Yeah. That's a great candidate for a used transmission.
I think so. I think in a lot of cases, if you've got one where the expense of the hard parts is over the, it's going to put you over the top, there's nothing wrong with a good
used transmission.
Used part that hasn't been, molested or, there's nothing wrong with that.
And we look at that, and we do something here called, we call it Recycle Plus. That's our verbiage or our termage. And what we do, or a certified used transmission. Mm-hmm. So what we do is there's a ton of suppliers of used parts that we can buy from. We only buy from a few because they could lie to you. They can misrepresent a product. Yeah. So when we do go ahead and do a used transmission, we call it certified used. What we do is we go ahead and buy it in, we partially disassemble it, do a cursory inspection, make sure that it's everything that the automotive dismantler said it was. Sure. As long as it is, we'll throw some new seals in it, new fluid, new filter, put it in the vehicle. Yep. Perfectly fine, good way to go. It is a cheaper alternative in a lot of cases. Yeah. Now, once in a while, I run into used transmissions being more expensive than new ones. Mm-hmm. I've seen that happen from time to time.
It depends on supply and demand.
Supply and demand, that kind of thing. So that's what a recycled would be. Remanufactured, theoretically, would be as close to new as you can make it. The idea of that. But where that gets in trouble is that, if I buy a transmission from the General Motors warehouse, it wasn't necessarily remanufactured by General Motors.
Right.
There's a couple huge players that remanufacture
Yep.
transmissions that GM buys from, Ford buys from.
Yeah.
It is not new for sure, but remanufacturing, that is no standard. So
Yeah.
just to simplify that. But yeah, here, overhaul, recondition, rebuilt. What do those terms mean? It really has to do with who you're doing business with.
It's so all those terms get to be really weird when you get into situations with like all of our transmissions that actually have controllers inside of the transmission.
Okay.
Okay, so the trans is remanufactured, rebuilt, whatever term you want to use. All right, what about the electronics?
Right.
Are those just used electronics in there? Are those new electronics?
Right.
Did you do anything to them? It's just a point about the terminology. So these things are not, man, there's nothing cut and dried about them. It's all over the place.
It's all over the map. I mean, there's
you know-
remanufactured transmissions from some suppliers I wouldn't put in my enemy's car.
Yeah, yeah. yeah.
And then there's remanufactured from the next guy. I'm like, oh, that's a
Yeah.
good transmission.
So I mean, if we're doing a 10R80, we know we're putting the update drum in it. Well,
Did the last guy.
did the last guy? Do they even know about it? So there's all these things. What pieces actually got replaced? What pieces didn't?
And we're specifically talking transmissions because we
Yeah.
do a lot of that, but that goes into rotating electrical,
Oh, gosh,
starters,
yeah,
alternators,
stuff like that.
and I'm a big proponent of factory, genuine. Most alternators and starters you're going to get are going to be remanufactured.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to see a lot of new ones. On occasion,
There's-
more so in later years.
There's a bunch of, I don't know when it started. I want to say 10, 15 years ago. But I remember going to SEMA and seeing lots of knockoff brand new parts that look like GM alternators. And here's this, pick whatever country you want to.
Right.
It came from someplace where I have no idea what the quality of it is.
Sure.
And there's always something about it, man. When you take them apart, you find out the electronics aren't built the same way.
Skip
They
something.
don't have the same curves and regulators. There's always something about it. And it may be a deal where it's instead of having a 110 amp winding in the thing, it's got a smaller one. Inside this bigger case and stuff. So there's all weird stuff.
It's kind of like the Gucci purse that you buy on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Gucci's not quite spelled right.
There's getting to be a lot more of those, and they're new parts, and the pricing on them's real good. But man, some of them are absolute junk.
Yeah, I think of the AC parts. There's a lot of new air conditioned parts.
That's the
New in the box.
Yeah.
I tell you what, when it comes to AC,
I've had them that didn't have the same displacement as the compressor that I took off, and
that's what we find and what we hate in our business is the aftermarket parts. So when the car comes in and somebody's worked on it before us and it's something that somebody can't fix, we got to go back over all the stuff that happened before us. And more times than not, it comes down to a part. We had a Lexus with an alternator problem, charging problem. Remember that Lexus?
Mm-mm.
Well, I think we put an alternator on it that we bought physically from Lexus, and it would eventually kill the battery. Summertime when the AC's on, maybe the headlights are on, and everything was on, and it was one little variation, and there was two styles of windings in it.
Yeah.
And there was a little slight amperage difference, but it was enough.
And there was something about it. It was a cold climate spec car or something.
Yeah,
and when
it
it
was-
got here, because the fans ran so much, the thing wouldn't actually keep up with. That was a weird deal. I remember that one now. Yeah, that
was a deal where you'd be in a real world of hurt if you were doing aftermarket parts. It would have been twice
you'd
the deal.
never get it there. Yeah, you'd never fix that car.
So anyway, you remanufactured, reconditioned, rebuilt, new, recycled. What you're going to have to do as a consumer is make sure that you're dealing with a reputable business, because you have to trust them and what they say, There's one chain here in town. They tell everybody everything is, new, original equipment, and it's none of that, you know. But if you're dealing with a reputable business, they're gonna take care of you. They got a relationship with you, that kind of thing, and they're not going to steer you wrong. And But I do, because we do deal with people say, oh, yeah, I can find those all day long, remanufactured on the internet for, $2,000,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
like $2,000 cheaper than it should be in certain instances. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you know about those people?
Yeah.
And there was one outfit here in town, and what they were doing is they were buying used transmissions from the salvage yard. They would take the pan off, as long as everything looked pretty good, they'd paint it up,
Yeah.
sell it for new, or
Oh, yeah.
sell it for rebuilt, kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, you want to make sure the guy you're doing business with is legitimate and he's been around and all that stuff, and then you don't have to worry about all this new recycled, rebuilt, remanufactured, reconditioned, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Any other things that come up for you, John, when it comes to that?
I don't. So there's lots of parts that you can lay down on the bench in front of you, and you could look at it and you can go, yeah, those are the same part, right? But as soon as there are parts on the inside of it, all bets are off. You have no idea what you're getting there. So it's tough. The ones that I'm just pulling a blank.
Yeah, but no, that's actually a really good point. If you're looking at a hinge, you can look at it, hinge, well built, well put together, pretty simple. You can see all the components,
Yeah.
right? But the minute you're looking at an alternator, you have no idea what's on the inside. Or a transmission, and that's what I tell people is that on a transmission, I've never actually sat and counted the parts, but there's between all the nuts and bolts and springs and gizmos and valves and everything, there's 1,000 parts in there. And so who's going to take it apart to tell you any different that it is new or remanufactured or whatever? And it's only good as the guy that put it together when you got 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, and that's my issue with that stuff. And the tranny builders do it a lot. They save parts they took out of old trannies, right? Because there was nothing wrong with those parts. Those parts are fine. Well, they go in a box or on a shelf or something. And 5 years later, the guy remembers that he's got this part, so he goes and grabs it and puts it in. Only thing is, so much time has elapsed that they changed the tooth count on this reluctor wheel or something. And now that piece that if you just, casually look at it, yep, those are the same. Well, they're not. There's a difference here. And it may be something little and subtle and small. And that messes you up. And we see that with the stuff when they go to rebuild parts. So they're remanufacturing parts. Well, they brought all these parts in. They've taken them all apart. And now they start putting them back together. And alternators is one that I used to see this all the time. I had the wrong windings put in. It's like, it's a 40 amp stator, not a 60 amp stator.
Right.
You know, but nobody, you can't tell you look at it from the outside.
Oh, it's the same.
Looks good. Doesn't work the same.
Right.
So that's where that stuff just gets kind of crazy. So,
well, the main thing and the takeaway here is make sure you're dealing with a reputable shop who's going to look out for your best interests. I tell people all the time, I'm looking out for your best interests. And I say, it's because it's in my best interest. You leave happy, it's good for me. Good for my business.
The only thing you have in this business that separates you from anybody else is your integrity.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, where's your integrity at?
It's got to be uncompromised.
You do the right thing every time, no matter whether anybody's looking or not. You just do the right thing.
Right.
And as long as you're doing the right thing and you got integrity,
you'll be in good shape.
That's the most important thing. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on the Bumper to Bumper podcast. We'll see you next time. Well, hello, I'm Dave Riccio, your host of the Bumper to Bumper podcast, and I would like to thank you for tuning in. If you want one of your car questions to be answered on our podcast, tap the link in the description for a chance to have your question featured. And while you are there, we would love for you to like and subscribe to see more Bumper to Bumper podcasts in the future.